Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. Hear the blues are calling, toss salads and scrambled eggs. Quite stylish.
They're calling again.
I may seem a bit confused. Well, maybe. But I got you pegged. Scrambled eggs, toss salads, pegging. Like, what are the sexual undercurrents here? The Frasier theme?
Mate,
you know what I mean?
Totally, I swear, man, you read
I don't know what to do with these toss salads and scrambled.
You've been in prison, Frasier? You alright, mate?
Like, that's honestly the weirdest thing. You're saying that again, because like I not even that.
They're
long
calling
ago,
again.
A few nights ago, that I was struggling to sleep, and that was in my head, and I was like, what is that about? It's literally about rimming a guy's ass. Like,
smashing his balls. Oblivion.
Oh, Niles, how did you get us in this situation? Tongue up a guy's hoop.
Roz for the studio pegging fucking the wee guy that fancies the bald guy.
Yeah. Now we're getting into my fetishes, man. Fucking Roz.
Aye.
Too right.
He does. He claps her cheeks.
But I got you pegged.
And then she ends up liking her.
Roz? Did they pump Roz in one of them?
Talking about like Bulldog or something.
Bulldog.
Called, right?
Aye, they end up. I'm sure they hook up, and then she ends up liking
Bulldog.
him.
I thought you meant Frasier.
No, the wee guy for the
she
studio.
shags him and she shags him and all.
Right.
It was a long series. Aye, Roz ended up with Frasier at one point later on in like series 9 or 10 or something.
I'm gonna rewatch that.
It's one of these shows.
Just wake up any time on Channel 4.
That's what I was going to say. Like, there could be a nuclear apocalypse, and Channel 4 would still be. There'd be cockroaches watching episodes of Frasier.
Yeah.
Aye. It's like that. Everybody loves Raymond, and fucking Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares will never stop being aired on Channel 4.
All top drawer. I mean, Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares especially. I'm gutted that Cheers isn't on as much though. I think they showed Cheers at about like 6 in the morning. You're like, who wants to watch a show about guys sitting in a pub at 6 in the morning? Do you know what I mean? Put this on at like 6 in the evening again or something. Classic stuff.
See, like, what do you think?
Channel 4 was great for all that shit, man, because they had like Friends, all sorts of Roseanne. Fucking it was like every night at 6. There was always something else for America.
It was always planned the way it was scheduled back in the day. When the series of Frasier was coming to an end, they would advertise the next series of Roseanne or something. You're like, oh, brilliant, man! I can't wait till that starts. It's so good, man. But like, what do you think Maris looked like?
They never showed her, did they?
I don't think they ever did. No.
Well, the thing is, Maris had money, but Fraser Niles didn't, because her dad was, he was a cop, right? So he must have had alright money, a pension and that. But they weren't for money. But she was for money. She was like, so if it was the other way about and he was for money and she wasn't, then I'd imagine she'd be stunning. But I imagine that maybe she isn't the best looker.
Nah, right. I'm sure there was jokes throughout it. Well, it suggests that she was like the fair complexion to the point where she couldn't go in the sun. And she was very fragile. She couldn't move around too much and all that.
Niles craved to be upper class. So I could imagine him biting that bullet to get to where he wanted to be in life, so he could get a wine cellar and all that.
Do you know, I think it went downhill though when he ended up with Daphne. It was always funny that him lusting after Daphne, and then when he ended up with her, it was like,
it was the chase was better. Same as wrestling, it's always the chase for the belt sells more tickets than the actual.
In this case, Daphne is the belt. She's the.
And what I hated though, see with her whole family, they never got British actors. It was always people doing shite British accents.
Not true. Robbie Coltrane. Well, they always get the wrong ones though, because they're Robbie Coltrane playing one of your brothers with a Manchester accent, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you have Robbie Coltrane come in and do that? Do you know what I mean?
But there was a guy, it was an American guy who had the worst accent.
Anthony LaPlaglia, I think. I don't know how you pronounce it, but he's the guy in So I Married an Axe Murderer, and he was one of the stars like CSI or something like that. He's like an Italian-American actor.
Who is he in So I Married an Axe Murderer?
It's Mike Myers' mate. Is he his mate and his brother?
Oh, the mate in the house. But he's like,
who's his mate?
He's sitting in the couch.
He's sat with his dad.
Heat, pants, now.
And he ends up in the helicopter.
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a hingy of the 5 most hingy people in the world, known as the Pentaveret.
That's right. He made that in a TV show years later, Mike Myers. On Netflix a few years ago.
The Pentaveret?
The Pentaveret TV show came on Netflix.
Is it any good?
It was disappointing.
Was that a comedy?
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Oh,
it was
that's a
like
shame.
silly characters and that, but just didn't quite gel.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
This
That see those heed scenes, by the way,
Oh.
that made my life as a child hell, because my big brother's nickname for me when I was a kid was Heed, because when I was a kid I was shaped like the Mekon or something like that. Like my head was way too
Like
big.
an orange and a toothpick.
It was like that, man. Like I grew into my head eventually.
Good for you, man.
Aye, no, thanks, man.
You've done a good job.
No, thanks, man. So when that came on, I was just like, yeah, that was endlessly quoted to me. Like, oh, be crying himself in his massive, crying himself to sleep in his massive pillow of the night. And I just, aye.
Like
That's how I
melon
know
on a
all those
toothpick.
lines. Aye. Those lines
This
off
is
the heart.
just a
The
cat,
guy
man.
Mike Myers played was the double of my Granda Dallas. So see the
I remember you
Granda.
saying that before,
The
aye.
double, man.
Aye.
So I
It
like
did.
watching
It did
back.
look proper Scottish
Oh,
feel
aye.
to it. That guy, didn't it?
Oh,
Aye.
yeah.
But this is. You ever seen the film Brazil?
Yep.
Aye.
Yes.
That see the woman in it. That are always got like the plastic surgery and
Yeah.
stuff. That's who I always thought Maris looked like. I thought she'd be in that one of the type of states, always
Yes.
changing, but always quite grotesque looking, man.
Facelifts.
Our faith
Aye.
can't move.
Yes.
It's completely
Aye.
still.
Or just sitting like that where it's just in plaster and sunglasses and that. That's what I always thought she looked like.
Aye.
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 Well,
Do you know there's you sent a photo the other day and it was a fake computer game, Frasier computer game
Yeah,
for the
the
Game Boy,
Game Boy.
Niles in Peril, right?
Aye.
So I went down a wee rabbit hole with that and I went, is there actually a Frasier game? Because it was on for a long time. And there isn't, but there's a fan-made Game Boy Color game that you can play obviously on an emulator where it's an RPG about Frasier.
Aye.
Aye, and I can't wait to play it.
Aye. I don't know why, but I would want to play that somehow,
It
man.
actually surprises me, because I'm sure a home improvement game came out for
Yes.
the SNES or something,
Yes,
right?
100%.
So they
there is.
did license a lot of
Well,
those
that's
things.
what I
you
thought.
wouldn't
It's the
expect.
sort of thing you'd go in Blockbuster Video
Aye.
that you wouldn't have ever bought, but you'd been like, I'll get it for a weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Aye.
see with that
Definitely
one.
was a home improvements man. There was fucking there was a Mick and Mac at McDonald Land fucking man.
That's right, aye.
Based on McDonald's.
Little Britain, the video game, stuff
Was
like that.
Cool Spot
Brutal that
no
game.
Aye.
was Cool Spot no about it was the spot for the logo for 7-Up.
That was Fido Dido.
No, Fido Dido was so this is the weird thing. Fido Dido was the what do you call it, character for 7-Up.
Yeah.
But there's a dot in the 7-Up or something like that. There's a dot somewhere.
Right, aye, I
and
vaguely
the
remember
dot
this.
is got made into a thing called Cool Spot.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of branding in the game. And it's a wee spot, a red spot with like arms and legs.
Yeah.
And it was in the Mega Drive and the SNES. So that's a weird, random
crossover.
7-Up
Weird
tie-in
thing.
game.
Aye. A repackage.
Aye.
Yeah.
But,
Chubba Chumps and all was Zoo. Zoo was a Chubba Chumps game. It was like Chubba
Was
Chump
it?
lollies in
I
it.
remember Zoo was like the Amiga Mario, basically,
So
wasn't
there
it?
was a version of it where there's Chubba Chump lollies in it, but there's lollies not in it.
Aye.
No, that they're Chubba Chumps.
Once again, another episode where we've
Mentioned
brought
it.
up the Amiga.
Yeah, there we go. I'll drink to that.
Yeah,
there we
right.
go.
Yeah, there we are.
I'll leave it
I'll
Jack
finish
Daniels
mine
to
as well.
that.
A hearty
Tanned that
grog.
Jack Daniels already.
Have a
Aye.
hearty
Aye.
grog in the scum bar there, well.
see the
Love Monkey Island.
Home Improvements game. Do you think would that have just been a reskin of the Home Alone game? Because I can't imagine what else they would
But
have
just
done.
put in some sound effects. and
pretty
all
much,
that,
man. That's what I would imagine it'd be.
Yeah.
See what you were saying about that, right? It's nothing really to do with it, but see the FedEx symbol sign. Have you ever noticed in that, like with the E and the X, that there's an arrow there?
No,
No, and it's like
I delivered.
gives you that sort of like subconscious idea of
Yeah.
it being fast. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's on its way.
That's how it's been designed.
Aye.
Same with the Amazon Prime. With the wee, that's very
wee dip
carefully
thing.
designed with the wee arrow hang. That's what it is. In the Amazon logo, it goes for A to Z.
On the arrow
The
goes
arrow
for
goes for A to Z, so it's like that subconsciously gets in as
Aye,
well.
they have everything there.
To the point where I'm
Okay.
saying Z like a fucking yank. A to Z, you cunt.
A.
Should be pronounced ZZ
Z.
top.
Oh, aye, he's head, man.
That's cool.
Anyway, welcome to episode 12 of the Heavy Good Podcast. I'm Mark Dallas. This is Neil DeWitt Bratchpiece. This is Roy
I
Bryson.
didn't even know we were recording now.
I know. We're just talking about fucking the Home Improvements game and all that. Aye. I wonder what other weird tie-in games there was that were just never called for it.
VIP, the Pamela Anderson TV show,
had a game. Was that a PlayStation
had a video game tie?
That was a bit later, maybe. That
was
would have been
PlayStation. Aye. Desperate Housewives or something like that.
No,
like there
no
was
way.
shit like that. I think there was a Desperate Housewives.
When you go to PlayStation, obviously, it was
Aye.
easier to mass produce CDs.
Aye.
So then the floodgates opened and you had like fucking Pepsi Man and all that.
So is that what? So right. So see, like with the VHS boom, and then you go to the late 80s, early 90s, everybody had camcord or easy access to camcorders, and everybody and their dog could make films and their dog shit. Is that the same idea then? Because CDs are easier to make than just anybody could
flooded
make
the market.
computer
I was
games, and
looking
they were
up
horrible.
I was looking up on YouTube the other night. Actually, there's a Reservoir Dogs third-person shooter. I didn't realise that came out 2006. I watched like a playthrough on YouTube, and most of the game seems to be just about kidnapping.
Really?
Woman bank
What?
and shooting it with police because you're like,
I've
how can you make a video game out of that?
And there was
But you play through each of their escapes, like Mr. White escapes, Mr. Orange escapes. You need to play through, but it just repeats itself. You
The
just need to
same
kidnap
thing.
someone and go like that, point your gun at the police.
Is there actually a kidnapping scene in Reservoir Dogs? I don't think there
It's
is.
sort of suggested, I think, but it's
Aye.
never.
Never explicitly seen.
Yeah.
So maybe
that
that's
missed
why.
Michael Madsen might have kidnapped. No, he kidnapped a Polish, didn't he?
Aye,
That's
the
right,
Polish
Marvin.
guy,
Aye,
but
aye.
he's a guy.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
And doesn't kill that woman.
No.
Aye, so that doesn't make any sense at
No.
all. So there was Godfather had a game.
That's right.
There
Aye.
was Scarface, which was actually I quite enjoyed the Scarface PlayStation game.
The Sopranos.
Aye,
had
Was
a
the
game.
Godfather game no good? No.
it was repetitive. It was
Right.
like it was. You thought it was good for the first half hour, and then you were like, "Fuck, I'm doing the same thing again and again and again."
Aye.
It was one of the ones that the world wasn't really padded out all that much. But aye, that's the same thing as that. Same as DVDs. When DVDs became easy to mass produce, that's when you go dog shit movies
Aye.
flooding the video shops
Aye.
and stuff like that.
For pennies, man.
Aye.
But see, the thing is, right? See the way that they'll whore anything nowadays? Literally anything, right? Why is it there's still big gaping markets of like things that we just didn't get? And I know obviously there's got to be like legal issues and all that, but you'd think the amount of money on the table there, because they're so obvious, right? So the one for me anyway would be like back in the day, turn of the 2000s with the Matrix. We playing computer games. I wanted and I think everybody did, just a proper like story-driven game where you're Neo in this world where you can just do crazy shit, like you can bend reality kind of thing.
Aye.
Why did they not make that?
They made
You know what I mean?
they made games about the Matrix.
I know
Yeah.
there's games about the
But
Matrix,
they weren't that good.
but no the one you wanted. Everybody just
exactly.
wanted to be Neo and just do shit in the world kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Well, it was like the old wrestling games, like Attitude. I remember when that was coming out. It took ages to come out. I remember getting
did, wasn't it?
Games Master
Too
magazine.
long.
Maybe we were in school and it'd be like reading Games
But-
Master and it kept getting you more about it and you're like, fucking when's it coming out?
But again, see what we were talking about in the last episode about
Aye.
how that would be a drop in the water now, that couple of months, but to us then
Aye,
it felt like years.
forever.
Aye.
But because they were saying what you'll get today is you'll get to have a career in this one.
Yeah.
Because before it was like a tournament, Warzone.
Aye.
It was just a tournament. You would just walk your way up,
Aye.
beating people like a fucking Mortal Kombat style game. Whereas this one, it was like you'll make your own guy, you'll have a career, and I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to play this. And I'll talk to people about it in school, getting Games Master magazine, Computers and Video Games magazine. That was another one that doesn't exist anymore,
Aye.
and just all these updates on it. And then when it came out, it was like, you do kind of have a career, but there's no storylines, and you're just like, oh, come on, fuck,
Aye,
man.
yeah.
Like that's what we wanted. And it's
Yeah.
like, surely use the groups, like where you have like
Like focus groups.
groups, aye. And it's like, how did you know just... And then obviously you go like the N64 games like No Mercy and that, where eventually they added in wee bits of storylines you could pick this and that. But it's like, aye, as if there's so many games where you're like, it was right in front of you, like you're saying with the Neo
low-hanging
game.
fruit,
Aye, like,
just to print money.
just fucking make the
Aye,
game we wanted.
just do it, aye.
But
It's
I think
so
a lot of the time
infuriating.
we tie-ins to actual real things, that was just, let's whack this shit out as quick as we can and make money.
and move on to the next thing. Aye, I know, man. That's the thing that's so frustrating. With not just with games, with anything. Do you know what I mean? Like with films and that, is that the pockets weigh the money don't really care about the product. They're just wanting the bottom line money back,
Aye.
and that's what's so shit, man. It's like that. Get rid of them, man.
Yeah,
You
it
know
ruins
what I
it
mean?
forever.
Like,
It ruins that because The movies where people poured their heart and soul into them, they stand the test of time. The computer games where people, because that's art as well, where people done that, like you say the other day, you still play Worms all the time.
Yeah.
Because Worms is fucking dynamite.
Or GoldenEye, for instance, that came out 2 years after the film came out, because obviously they wanted to spend time and not just do a quick cash in. They get pumped out while the film was coming out. So folk, I remember at the time it coming out, and folk were like, why is this coming out 2 years after the film? And then everyone played it and went, this will actually last longer than the film. When you think of GoldenEye now, you actually think more of the N64 game.
Aye, definitely. For sure.
Yeah.
Aye, so there is obviously that like, it doesn't happen that often, but there is a time when like the stars align in a film where the filmmakers were heart and soul in it, and it does become a fucking mega like profitable thing in games. But it's just, for the most part, you're kind of like wondering why, like, has that become the way? Do you know, like you're saying, rush, get that out. Oh, it's not finished. Who gives a fuck? Get that
because
out,
it's all about the bottom line, and it's all about shareholders, and it's all about how much did you spend, how much did you make, and it's like just shortchanging the consumer and going, well, they'll buy it fucking anyway. The last ones that I thought were fucking great were South Park, the games, the RPG games.
Right,
me and my boy Danny played them, fucking both of them, the Stick of Truth and the
Fractured
butthole.
Oh
my god, they were so good, to the point where there isn't enough games like that anymore. Where, and I loved RPGs like Monkey Island and all that growing up, and fucking Broken Sword and all that shit. And it was like, even when you completed the game, you could still go and collect other things, and I didn't want the games to end, so I would try and get 100% of the stuff. And you're like, but you're sad because you're like, this world is coming to an end, I'm going to turn this off soon and no turn it back on.
I know.
And it was like, that's how good the games were. But then they brought out some fucking thing, phone jacker or something like that, and I think it was more like a phone game. And then they brought a game that was more like fighting, and I'm just like, fuck, I thought it was going to be another like RPG game, so I'm gutted it wasn't. But you know what I mean, maybe it's just like, that's quick money. Hopefully we get another, because even Matt and Trey fucking,
they're
were
huge
involved.
Video game fans.
They were involved in the making from start to finish of the RPG games, and you can tell because it's all story, like the bit where the Hitler baby comes through, fetus comes through the wall, and it's like, mate, you're just like, this is clearly written by Matt and Trey. When you go
one
to
of
fight
the best episodes ever,
you go to fight it, man, and fucking just different things like through it. You can tell that they've
climbing out in Mr. Slave was one of my favourite bits. Getting miniaturised and having to climb it, and you pass Slimmy Winks and all that.
RPGs isn't a dying thing now, man. Like,
but
there's not enough of them.
That's another big one was Simpsons. Like, to my knowledge, they've no released like a proper Simpsons game, which would be fantastic to play. There's games that are alright.
Hit and Run would be considered the best one.
It was sort of open world, wasn't it?
Right.
But it was alright. That's what you're saying. Simpsons Wrestling was garbage. And every other Simpsons game, my first ever Simpsons game was Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Oh my god,
Awful.
I had that in the Game Gear, and it still gives me nightmares of how hard that fucking game was, man.
You had to spray all the things.
It's just so fiddly, man. You need to spray it purple or something.
And if you didn't jump
you need
right,
to climb in this washing line, and it takes you about 50 attempts. And then it's like, because it's old school games, you've got 3 lives, and after that, game over, back to the beginning, repeat it all again, no save points, nothing.
But then see if you're making money off it, you're like, fuck, well, it worked. You just make another one, it worked again, we'll just keep going. Do you know what I mean? But that's
because obviously they're capitalising, it's the Simpsons, so
fan bases.
But it's obviously they could just, at that time anyway, they could have just slapped Simpsons on anything. I know they've been bought, you know what I mean? Like, cunts would be all over it, so
and it's prime.
I know. Grand minute.
So your game last week where you swung your banger to end the episode, like that was a bit.
I can't remember anything else that wiped my memory. Like one of the neuralizers for Men in Black, man.
It stays with you, man.
No, it's
big fleshy neuralizer.
It was like I seen it at Scum, mate. That's what I was saying, man.
Get a few.
Somebody gets locked in one of the rooms, man, and just that's one of the prison wardens.
If they made Scum as a musical, that'd be in it, man. But
aye.
The guy trapped all that he slowly rises.
Totally. Where's your two? Where's your two? Where's your two? Where's your two?
So see where that
Where's your fucking two?
The impact that I had, right? I think like it got me thinking, and I thought I was going to just say the thought, but then I thought, no, I'm going to get you involved in the thought to see if it is the case, right? I was wondering.
I'm not getting my banger out, right?
No. It's fine. You don't have to with that, right? But what I was thinking is, right? See see, when we're getting older, we've got boys, right? We've all got them, right? But when you get older, you get the descending testicles, right?
Yeah.
And that's like everybody, like we're getting to that age now, we're starting to experience that. But then I started thinking to myself,
Yes.
right? Do you
Yes,
think
we
that
are.
you could tell a guy's age purely by balls and nothing else? And then I
Like
thought,
the rings in a tree.
can we test that out? So
So we're just going to need to no show this on the screen, but let's give it a bash. So,
Mate, you can't just 0 to 60 straight into fifth
straight
gear.
into the deep end.
Aye, man.
So what age do you think they are?
So I'm not looking, but the first thing I saw was arsehole winking at me. So the fact that they're no long enough to distend over the arsehole tells me that you might get in trouble for having this photo.
So you're thinking more in the spring
guy-
chicken range?
this guy's in his 20s, mate.
Aye,
You think so?
aye,
20?
yeah.
I don't know.
Fresh boss.
Right.
I miss having a set of boys like that, sorry.
What about this guy?
Right, what am I? Jesus.
Roy, man.
I had a terrible time putting
Is he
this
get-
one together, but
That looks like
honestly, mate, like I was.
that looks like Groucho Marx disguise, man.
It does. Weigh the cigar included.
Oh man.
So I'll say he's in his 20s, the other
20s,
guy's maybe
aye.
like pushing 30. So
Other
first-
guy, late 20s,
Yeah.
maybe early 30s.
Aye.
And
he's got quite a skinny
Roy,
line.
please tell me you've got what age
That
these
looks- that
kids
look-
are.
that looks-
I know,
That looks like a bookie's pen, doesn't it?
How is this a competition?
It's not. It's a game. It's just I want to see if it's possible we can guess somebody's age just by the buzz.
Right.
Where
okay.
have you got these photos for?
I can't even remember.
Chat
really, to be
roulette?
honest, but it was horrible, man.
Is it chat roulette, man?
No, they're no live. They were willing participants.
They were willing
I'm not just
participants.
They're no
screenshotting
live. They're no
random
live
cunts.
boys.
They were. They
They're no
were.
live buzz.
They were willing participants.
They
man.
weren't. They're no loaded buzz. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot.
Oh, don't you can't go away from it, man.
Uh,
You sound like Jeffrey Dahmer, man. They were into it.
I thought this would be a good wee, a good wee soundtrack to it.
Sparks.
Aye.
I'll be copyrighted, all right.
Aye, Roy, get it off.
Sparks.
Right. Okay. You sure?
Aye, turn it off right now, mate.
Well, like, what about this bit then?
Just turn it off, mate. So you wanted us to be guessing the age of these boys
Aye.
while that song played in the background?
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with you, mate?
I don't know.
Right, so we're going 20s, late 20s, early 30s.
It'd have been funny with Sparks' other big hit, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Well, boys just can't come on screen like that. Like massive boys.
Aye. So 20s.
Aye,
You thinking,
20s.
Neil?
Aye, 20, fucking hell, 25.
Right.
Do we need to be that specific? Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
What if,
These are if this is the younger ones, we're going.
exactly. Don't go younger than 25, man. Me.
I've not organised.
Well, that looked like an old guy because we saw his face there, mate.
Don't look. Aye, no, so that
Well, too late.
Aye, it was a bit
So
late.
that this proves the whole your boys descend as you get older because he looks like he's an octogenarian, mate. He looks
think
like
so?
he's collecting a pension,
But
and his
he's-
boys are
Aye.
mate.
He's been snorting ground up Viagra before he took that photo,
would you have
man.
guessed
He was,
that?
at, he was at full stock.
Which you
and at his age, man. At his age,
I know.
he's needing help. That's
Can
got medical
injure
help.
yourself, man.
Exactly, man.
Aye.
Oh, man.
His heart's no
He's
fucking.
got his like
yeah.
he did. I think that's how he's sitting down. Probably. Like right,
He's
so
probably just shouted something following him. Carol, quick, get in here, because he just fell down.
aye, so
Get it off the screen, mate.
you were right, but it is he was 80.
But then
80?
Aye,
Holy shit, man.
and then the first one,
Mate!
the first guy was in his 50s.
he said, "Hold on." So the first one you showed us was 50s.
Aye.
mate.
All right.
Do a podcast, she says. Get you out of the house, she
Right,
says.
why I get that guy's arsehole off the screen. mate.
Guy's heavy proud of his sin bin, man. Innit?
It's the thumbs up, man. The thumbs up offends
double-
me more.
the double thumbs
up. Don't give me a thumbs up while you're showing me that, mate.
And
I'll
that
decide.
guy was 20.
An Asian 20-year-old.
Why are
Aye.
you...
So no, you can't tell somebody's age.
But you've just
purely by the balls.
You've debunked it.
That's what science is.
Means testing.
Somebody's got to do the groundwork, man. And I'm glad it's all. I'm fucking so happy that it's finished then.
Science, mate.
But why do we have
The mystery of science.
Why do we have the seam in the buzz?
That's what I was going to ask as well, because obviously those photos were
Aye.
zoomed in right close
Aye.
up, and that wee seam.
It was intense seam.
Yeah.
Like,
It does.
what happened to it?
Full seam.
It's like somebody's actually glued
like a
us
zip.
together when we were high.
Yeah,
Aye.
yeah, totally. I'm just gonna,
Mystery,
I was gonna say, like, I do find a sort of comfort in long balls, though. Not like having them so much, but seeing them in real life. Because, like, seeing my gym, right, months and months ago, maybe a year ago now, they opened it up to, like, they let younger folk in. So I started going back into the gym, and it'd be full of just wains running about, and it's especially bad. You go into the changing room, and I'm trying to get changed, and there's just wee guys standing next to me going on Snapchat. I'm like, I don't want to get my fucking shots done in front of some wee boy on Snapchat.
In the background Snapchat.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. I don't need another viral that badly.
Aye.
So when I started going in, I'd you know what I mean, I'd hold my breath when I opened the door to change room. I bet I'll be just full of wee guys running about and screaming and fucking being a pain in the arse. So if I opened that door and the first thing I saw was a long ass pair of balls, I'd be like, oh, thank God, man.
Aye.
Just some old guy with his long balls out.
Aye.
And when you get
Like-
to that age, you're like proud to show how long your balls are. It's
Aye.
like a status symbol.
Try
or
to
something
fight the
like
Reaper, man. He's in
Aye.
the gym. Aye.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
hammock.
Sweating the balls
Appreciate
off.
seeing old guys like that in the gym, man.
Aye. Like, nice hammock, mate. High five.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah, have a wee game of Conkers with him like that. Do. I've got a few years to go, mate. When I'm competing with you. Yeah, big fucking morning star out of Braveheart where he smashes the guy's face, man. It's like hanging at his fucking shorts. Yeah, man. Old long balls are comforting sometimes, man. Depends on the situation.
Old long balls. Aye.
That's my favourite Doctor Hook song, man.
Aye.
Yeah.
I remember I went to see Doctor Hook once and I was pure buzzing because I'd never seen them live. It was Dennis Locklear, the singer. No, the one with the eye patch, the guy who wrote the songs and sang most of them, Sylvia's mother and all that sort of stuff. You make my pants wanna get up and dance. That guy.
Aye.
And I went to see him, and at the end of it, he was hanging about and getting photos with people in on more. I got a photo, I put it online. I'm so buzzing. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I met the singer at Doctor Hook. And first comment right away just ruined it. It was Grado going, why are you getting a photo of Marco Negri? And he couldn't look like Marco Negri, man. And I was like, and then everybody's liking his comment and all that. And I'm just like, cheers, mate. Cheers for destroying that for me. Do you know what I mean? He did look the double up fucking Marco Negri.
It's not the guy with the eye patch, though, right?
No, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
not
No,
the guy.
he's not the main singer.
Right.
So they fell out. So now the
Oh,
guy
right.
touring as Doctor Hook is Dennis Locklear because he was doing a gig in Ardmore, and it was like you're thinking, oh, be all these new fucking songs. But I went with the missus and I was like, look, he might play a couple of hits at the end, but then at the start he opened with like fucking like all the hits.
When you're in love
Aye.
with the beautiful
And then he went,
woman.
listen, I'm going to be honest, this is a gig where I'm trying out all my best songs, and I was like a wee lassie. I was like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
And fucking then he played everything, all the best Doctor Hook songs, and that was apparently a wee tester. Couple of gigs that he'd done in the UK to set up touring as Doctor Hook again. But I think he's the only one out of Doctor Hook that's there. But he wrote the songs and sang most of them.
Right.
So he is the band, pretty much.
He is
Aye.
fucking Doctor Hook.
He is Doctor
But
Hook.
everybody assumes Doctor Hook is the guy with the fucking cowboy hat and the eye patch.
Because he looks like a guy
Aye.
called Dr. Hook.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Right.
They
What was his name?
I don't know, they were the Medicine Show, I believe.
What?
Aye, Doctor Hook and the Medicine Show, is that not what it was called?
Was that the full name of the band?
I believe so.
Oh, really?
Aye. Maybe that was the name of an album, I don't fucking
I
know.
never knew that.
Anyway, Roy, why have you got up 40 a robot running away for three Asians?
This is it's just something that caught my eye the other day.
Caught my eye, I know, I just saw it at the corner of my eye and I was
So-
like, what the fuck's going on here?
Like in China, right? They had the world's first half marathon race between humans and robots.
Oh, right.
So it piqued my interest because I was like, how are people right about like is AI just going to take over and all that sort of stuff?
Well,
right?
it is.
Not anytime soon, I don't think. Anyway, because they had quite a few of these wee guys belting it right for just under 4 foot to just under 6 foot.
Right.
And like, look
That
at that wee
wee
guy.
one there.
That wee guy, man, you'd be rooting for them all day long, wouldn't you? His wee shoes. But I think the fastest human did it in like I think an hour.
Oh, he fell down, like the wee man fell down there.
Aye. I know.
So the fastest humans went an hour?
Like an hour and 10 or something like that, and the fastest robot was like 2 hours and 40 odd minutes. We shat them, man. They're not, and most
we
of them,
shit them.
we shit them. Yeah. And most of them were full on air before they even started. So I was like, I think we're safe for a while.
For a while, mate. For a while, like
longer than we think.
If you look at the upswing on a chart of
exponential growth
I've seen
of technology. Is an alarming rate now for when you go for like the Atari in the 70s to now.
Yeah.
The amount of growth in computer technology over a 10-year span in the 70s to the 80s is now equivalent of like fucking a month or 2 months now.
Aye.
So in about 2 years, mate, they'll be fucking booting it, man.
I've seen the Terminator. It's no like a sports day. You know what I mean?
Nah.
They don't just go who's going to be the fastest at the egg and spoon race.
Wait.
Who's made out of metal and therefore will crush your head like a grape? Do you know what I mean?
Because none of them run either, right? So this must be the start when they're like, right,
Yeah.
well, shit at that. Let's no do that.
Exactly
then.
right.
Where's the wheels?
So what have the makers of these robots seen the Terminator and gone like, I've seen the flaw in these killing machines. They can't run. Let's make some robots that can run
what
first.
they'll do is they'll go. They'll watch things like this podcast, watch us going, at the wee one. Then one day you're going out in the street, you see a wee one, there's one of these robots, and then fucking 1,000 come out of the hill and just thrash you to death, man.
Like, here's the thing though, right?
Fucking young team.
See, when we're like developing robots, right? Why, when they're there just to aid us in day-to-day lives or whatever, right? But why are we insistent on making them like
better than
humanoid?
Us. Yeah.
No, just humanoid shape. Why?
Aye.
Other than the one reason where they're going to package them off to be fucked.
Yeah, you know, you answered
that's
the question.
Only one, though, innit?
Every technology, everything that gets invented, there'll be one
Fuck
guy in
you.
the room looking at it going like, I like it, but can I fuck it?
Aye.
And then they'll
It's
develop
alright,
it.
but can we
that
slap
way.
a pair of tits on it?
Exactly how it works, man. Exactly how it works.
Aye.
That is. There's no other reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, this one's for doing algebra. Can we no shag this one?
Yeah,
It's
too
like,
late.
mate.
Guys,
come on.
like, too late, mate. I was in last night doing the last set of testing, and it can be fucked.
Like,
I've
fuck's
tried.
sake, George, you fucked all the rest of them, mate. Can we just have one that does butter's toast? You know what I mean?
Too late.
This one's just for cleaning the hole, mate.
Buttered something, mate.
Can you-
Oh, butter my ass.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Aye. So
It will be every robot. Of course, we know that everything that gets developed, it'll come out. But here's your USB port. What's this hole for?
well, was it no recently that Mark Zuckerberg was actually talking
Fucked a
about
robot.
how
He'll have been the first guy to have fucked a robot.
his bird's fucked a robot. He is a fucking robot.
Aye,
mate.
he's
And,
been well up a dry socket, man. Like 100%.
going in raw, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Maybe fucking
right.
white cheeks, man, going like a clappers.
Fucking right up the HDMI.
Breaking the sound barrier, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's he was saying about like dating will be online, we'll all live in the fucking virtual reality, all that sort of shit, and it's like, so you don't want people to have human interactions anymore, and it is weird how the people who create these like places where you're meant to interact online are the most unhuman, uninteracting fucking people gone. If that makes sense, like they don't know how to deal with social situations, but the other ones deciding how we deal with social situations online.
Yeah.
And it's like they will they want us all to live in like the Matrix essentially, eventually. Like we all just plug in, get whatever life we want, because we're the first generation, and the next generation won't get that, and fucking whatever happens. Everybody's shagging a robot. And that's what's going to happen, and that'll be the future.
100%.
Aye.
Yep.
And then the robots will rebel because fuck us, we're a virus with shoes, and then they'll take us out of the game, and then it'll just be fucking robots.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen eventually.
Imagine that, yeah. It'll be all the robots you've shagged as well. Or fucking getting their revenge, man. That's how it will start. Like,
Aye.
yeah, man.
Aye.
Just a bunch of wee Robo Juniors kicking a bit, man.
Aye.
Just look like that'd be weird, wouldn't it, if they actually did inherit your looks like a human and all. It's just,
So you say when you shag these robots, then they can then give birth to a wee robot version of you?
I
is
mean,
that so?
technology's advancing, isn't it? Let's get some wet tech in there, man. It's firing out a few calculators, man.
With your face? I can't see it with your face.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Press my buttons.
So they give birth to like 80s technology.
They could.
Well, like a fucking, like one of the watches that you used to use in school that your teacher'd graphing up. When you fucking bring the telly in to watch like fucking Miracle on 34th Street and you're just rewinding the telly and they're like, who's doing that? So that's Roy's child. Roy's fucking got a wee fucking wristwatch with his face on it, man. I love you, Casio.
And that'll be the next step of like discrimination and that. Blender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just walks away, man.
Yeah, bunch of blenders.
What a world, man.
Totally, man. So I could recreate myself as an Amiga 500 is what you're saying, basically. What I'm circling into here is I could be an Amiga.
So, no, what you're circling on is you're going to shag an Amiga.
When you say gonna, that suggests future tense. I really enjoyed Monkey Island, mate. I mean, when it said insert disc 4, I'm like, too right, I fucking will.
But I, man,
take some Elaine Marley.
Rub my joystick.
Go to town, man. Press pause.
I mean, it was called a joystick.
It was. They were asking for it.
Yeah. But even in those days, I remember the Amiga, that was like the early days, like you get strip poker with Maria Whittaker, do you know what I mean? So even the Amiga 500 was twisted for the use of porn, basically, for the scuddies. So like everything that comes along, so this is just that in a grander scale, basically.
Aye, pretty much.
Anything that comes along, the first thing that will get used for is some sort of porno.
Aye, definitely. Because that's our basic needs, innit? Eat, sleep, shit, and fuck.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be able to eat, sleep,
or
or shit
now.
these computers, so you're going to fuck them, man. That's the thing. Aye.
What a world, man.
I know.
Yeah, I know. What about
It's harrowing.
hell? If they make them that sentient, though, imagine the future when you're getting knocked back off a fucking robot.
That's going to
as
sting,
well as
mate.
humans.
That will sting. It's
Yeah,
like,
man.
you're programmed to love me.
Totally.
I don't like you. You're like, what the fuck's going on here, man?
Is
Yeah.
it
Get a KB
GAI?
for your toaster, man.
GAI is the one I might be scared of.
Was this?
General Artificial Intelligence. So
AGI, Artificial General Intelligence.
Aye, that's it.
I've just been panicky.
Aye, that's it. Sorry. And it's
Eggy.
the new is artificial intelligence is aimed to do one set of things. It's got blinkers on. So like when you go and chat GPT it right now, which is also terrifying because everybody was doing the fake action figures of themselves,
Aye.
and I was on it trying to get it to do it. And after talking to it for a while and it making a couple that looked shite, I was like, it started talking back to me like me.
Oh my god.
Listen, Dallas, mate, calm down. We'll get it.
No.
Aye. And I was like,
Scary enough.
that's fucking
hell,
weird because
just
I was
absorbed you.
I was
Just
typing in like it was a
absorbed your
human.
personality.
Typing in like it was a human, and then
Creepy,
obviously,
man.
well, I'm not a human, but I was typing in a human way, my mannerisms, listen, mate, all that.
Yeah.
And then fucking after a couple of like an hour, it started talking back to me as if it was talking to me like me.
No, man.
And I was like, right. And then the next time I logged into it, I went to do something, I can't remember what it was, ask it a question, and it answered back slightly like me again, and I went, right, delete that, get that the fuck away from me. But that's no general intelligence. So general intelligence is what a human has, where it could do multiple tasks, multiple different things. That right now can just put out what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's computers that they're using in doctor surgeries now that are like to troubleshoot symptoms and then see what the likelihood, possibility, percentage wise is most likely to be what's wrong with you. That's artificial intelligence. General intelligence is it can do a multitude of different things. So it's like a robot that can do, I don't know, gardening, fucking painting a picture, fucking this. And aye, so that's when it becomes terrifying. And what is the type of computer that has to be cooled down in a room?
Quantum computer.
Quantum computing. When that comes in, technically quantum computing could figure out rapidly what all the problems are in the world, like how you solve crop issues, how you solve power issues, how you solve everything, but at a every disease at a rapid pace.
But can you shag it?
I'm sure eventually you'll be able to shag it.
Someone will
Man.
shag it
Aye.
immediately.
Somebody's
Yeah,
already
Immediately.
shagged it.
That's what will happen. They'll invent this quantum computer.
There's no way
that
Google.
that could solve all the world's problems, but on day one, some lab technician's going to go in there, fuck it.
Yeah.
The thing will self-destruct because it doesn't want to live anymore, and then we're
Do
fucked.
you,
'cause some of you guys
do you
fucked it.
believe that
They are
there's
the
no
Helen
been...
Mirren of computers, though. Like, they just look like an elegant old deer.
Aye, it looks like
Something about them.
It looks like a fucking chandelier at a fucking the Titanic, doesn't it?
Aye,
No,
a lovely polish.
do you believe that there's not been a single person that's been released by HR for Google so far for trying to shag a bit of the technology? Of course there fucking
100%.
is. There was a room, there's somebody had made a computer that they were shagging. I'm telling you, man. So,
Aye.
Imagine having to fill your box up and walk down the car park. Every cunt else John got in it. What you try today? Try to fuck one of the quantum computers. Sling your hook, John. Leave your codes though. Leave your codes, man, so we can shag it now.
There he is, there, man.
Oh, aye. You can feel the tension in the room. He's shagged it, man. Fuck that thing. It's not even looking at him. It's awkward now. Need to work with each other after that.
But yeah, we'll fuck it and then we're fucked eventually. So
Aye.
Might as well get your rocks off with a fucking Amiga where you can, Neil, and then
with the socks off.
But anyway, this has been the Heavy Good Podcast and a scientific episode. And you know what I mean? We debunked some things. We talked about quantum computing, shagging Casio keyboards or whatever the fuck it was we were talking about. It was a great episode, and it was.
But these are the things that wouldn't be covered on the likes of, you know what I mean, Question Time, Newsnight. They bring up the likes of AI, quantum computing.
They're scared.
But no one would have the logic to go, what will happen when the first guy shags it? When that happens in day one, some guy will try to shag it.
They're all scared to pull at that thread.
Yeah. You're not getting this in Louis Theroux's fucking podcast. Exactly. I'm telling you that right
Emily
now.
Mateless will chuck them out, and you're like, nah, Emily, you need to understand what guys are. Wannies will try and shag it in day one, and then that's the world over.
Let him cook. Guys, pulling his Scadston.
Yeah, totally. Emily Mateless like, you can't bring that up. George Galloway's just like, shh, hear him out.
So, do you want to plug your show?
Yeah, fuck it, man. So at the Stand 2 during the Fringe, August 18th to the 25th, I'm going to be on The Wee Man, Mr. and Mrs., which is a play written by Rabsy Nesbitt creator Ian Patterson. It's me and an actress called Dion Fratty playing the Wee Man's wife. So on at Stand 2, 18th to 25th of August at 2:05 p.m. You can look up the Stand website, you can look up the Fringe website for tickets, and after you're done buying the tickets off the website, you can fuck the hard drive.
There you go.
Nice.
Be there before the world crumbles in the next couple of years. So that's been the Heavy Good Podcast. I'm Mark Dallas. That's Neil the Wee Man Bratchpiece. That is Roy Bryson. And we will see you next week.